We made it. God, I know. Sorry it's a bit late, but we're going to be doing it from 9 p.m. onwards this time. And yes, there is going to be drinky poos at 10 o'clock, if that's okay with you guys. Let's just wanting to see if the signal and the sound and visuals is all good. If we get the okay from you guys, we can carry on. Brilliant. Let me see. We got Deep in the Bunker. We got Slave to No Man. Awesome. Ben, 4x4 fella. Right. Wow, we're just warming up. Everyone's in the house. 5x5, engineered to succeed. Good to see you, buddy. All the way from the US of A. So, what are we going to kick off with? Yes, things to come. As you can appreciate, there are lots of things to come. But if you stay tuned right to the end of this live stream, it's not all doom and gloom. You won't believe it. But yes, good news at the end. So to start off with, here we go. Oh man, it's hard to see. It's absolutely blinding all of the light, isn't it? Check it out. Yeah, that's what happens when you do it all yourself. You don't get any help from anyone else, and you spend a lot of time doing it. It happened to me, and it can happen to you. So if you guys create content, absolutely go for it. It's worth 11 years to get there. Trust me. So yeah, thanks everybody for that. It's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, we've done some checks before we come online, and in the last 28 days we've got just over 7,100 new subscribers. Welcome, boys and girls. This is a regular thing we do every Friday, so we catch up. We've got a growing community. It's awesome. Already we've got nearly 600 people in the chat, which is cool. So yes, just for you new guys, real quick, if you didn't already know, this is my main job, and I don't get no benefits or nothing else. This is it. So I'm trying my best to make a living for me and my family on YouTube. And honestly, you guys who have donated so far, look at that already. Wow, that's absolutely brilliant. Appreciate that. Looney Bin, you're a star. Yeah, so as you can tell, donations are seriously welcome, not just on the live stream, but over the course of the week. And if you want to, you don't have to. You're under no obligation whatsoever. There's a thing called Super Thanks, Super Chat, Super Stickers, and any other time, or indeed during this live stream, you can as well if you want to. Is PayPal and coffee, buy me a coffee or Ko-fi, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down some of these tabs. We're a little bit chaotic getting started, but we are getting there. And what else have we got to do? We've got to put, oh yeah, something new for the channel there. And the next one, we've got that to do as well. So yeah, we're just warming up, making sure everyone's turning up. Well, look at that. We got, and check it out. Thank you, David J. That's absolutely very kind of you, sir. Much appreciated. Every single penny helps. So all good in the hood. So what we're going to try and do is show some new different things. Now we are going to go straight over to a screen share. And we're going to go through this, which I think is becoming to be important. This is the very latest from MI5. So if you don't already know, MI5 take care of what's in the UK. MI6 takes care of outside the UK. So this is threat levels, okay? So the national threat level to England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland from terrorism is substantial. Okay, so this is substantial. If we go over to Northern Ireland, if you can see here, so our brothers and sisters over the pond in Northern Ireland, guess what? The threat level has been raised up to severe. Okay, so here we are. This is what the threat levels currently are. Okay, so low, moderate, substantial. Now, substantial, bearing in mind what I just said, this applies to everyone in the UK, means an attack is likely. Okay, severe, as we just saw in Northern Ireland, attack is highly likely. So we're just putting that out there. Okay, so Oh, check it out. Reality check. Thank you, brother. Oh no, look at this. Hard work, dude. It pays off. It always pays off. Really appreciate that. That's absolutely awesome. And who else have we got? Whoa, Mr. Lesko. Thank you very much for that kind donation, sir. Very much appreciated. And yeah, it's absolutely awesome. So you guys rock. Without you, I'll just be talking by myself. So I tried something different tonight. We got some lighting in there, so it's blinding me a bit. So you could probably see my face a little bit better. Born outside, Tim. Hi, mate. Chris, UK Prepper Man. Listen, it's really good to see you guys here at a later time. I've got no idea how this is going to pan out, me starting at 9, because since dot really, we've been doing live streams at 8. So 9 o'clock. It'd be interesting to see how it fares, because lots of people. I was getting emails from people saying they don't get home from work late on a Friday and they just struggle to meet 8 o'clock. So we raised it till 9 o'clock, giving everyone a better chance to make sure they're nice and comfortable, so we can enjoy the Friday night show, as it were. So let me see what we're gonna get going on here. Right. Also, we want to check the markets as well, because lots of people have been asking me what's going on with silver. Do I buy silver? Do I buy gold? And also, people are concerned about the oil prices, etc. So straight away, we go over to our best friend, Market Insider. Now, bearing in mind, this is live, up to date, okay? We just lose that little bit of rubbish there. So commodities, some top performers. Wow, there's a few things that are doing well there. So we move on to the nitty gritty. Now, silver, look at silver. Now, I've been following silver, right? And if we look at the graphs, you'd absolutely see what's been going on in the silver market, because like I say, I do get quite a bit of questions about silver. Now, look at the price of silver. This is in the last 7 days. Okay. So it's going up and up and up. We can go back to a month as well. And as you can tell, absolutely, yes. We are seeing an increase in silver, which is good because lots of us hold silver. Personally, I'm in silver for longs, not for shorts. So I'm planning on holding on to my silver. Gold as well. Now, we do have some people who have gold. Obviously, it's very expensive, and we can just see what's going on in the last month with the gold market. Sorry about the adverts. Yes, again, we're seeing gains and rises in gold. Absolutely insane. So look at that. We're hovering just under 2K for an ounce, and that is just gold. Insane. So interestingly enough, if you can see down here, we've got Brent and WTI, which is similar to crude. It seems to be going up slowly. So bearing in mind, we've been saying on this channel for quite a while now, this month they are going to be raising the prices for fuel duty. And that is going to be regardless of what's going on in the market regarding oil. Okay. So whether you like it or not, the government are going to whack the prices up very, very soon. Here we go. My man, slave to no man. This is just for you, sir. The price of Valley at the moment, it's gone up marginally. But yeah, you could be doing better, mate, by looking at that. So yeah, just keep an eye on it because it's going to be going up at some point. Lots of the metals, really, there's not much difference, to be fair. In fact, when you look at across this, there hasn't been much gains. Feeder cattle, as you can see, that's gone up nearly 5%. So it's something to be mindful of as regards the price of meat, cattle, etc. So back in the room, we've got the markets out of the way. So who have we got in the house? Lots of awesome people in here. Wow, look at that. 1,148 people already. Guys, you're awesome for turning up on time. That's brilliant. Now, what we need to do is we're going over to here, and we are going to say, the age old, where are you watching from? So where are you guys right now? It's really, really cool to know, seriously, because we are getting people from different parts of the world every week. It's nuts. We're getting people from all over. Anglesey, we've got a couple from Anglesey. I've not been up there, but I will endeavour to get up there one of these days. So yeah, we got someone from Scotland, Swindon. Check it out. We never look back from Nebraska. Wow. Who have we got here? Belfast, Northern Ireland. Lucifer himself. Good heavens. Good to see you, buddy. Right, who have we got here? We got Erica from DC, Washington, over the US of A there. That's awesome. Right, who have we got here? Check it out. Green Finger Fetish. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, Lou Cornwall. There you go. There's the Cornish flag right there, sir. Always representing Cornwall. We just love Cornwall. Yeah, Switzerland. Wow. Mark, what are you noticing in Switzerland regarding the gas price? Because the gas prices have gone a little bit haywire, should we say, over in Sweden. Be interesting to see if you can hit back and we can see. Also, another thing, I remember doing a poll on here and setting it up earlier. I've just checked my phone and it doesn't seem to be there. Unfortunately, I can't see any poll at all on StreamYard. For some reason, the platform does not support it. So, yeah, if anyone can see the poll or can't see the poll, can you say in the chat? That'd be awesome. So we can find out what's going on there. We got James down in Bodmin. Awesome. What have we got? Truro. Well, we've got a lot of Cornish in the house. This is brilliant. Excellent to see. So, yeah, some of you guys who are watching on the replay, we usually do this just to make sure we get the stragglers, the last-minute guys and girls to turn up so they can enjoy spending time in the chat area, which is absolutely awesome. So who have we got here? The poll is here. Okay, cool. It's good to see that it is there. I wish I could see it. Let me see if I can. Now, the last time I'd done something like this, it all went a little bit funny. So I'll have to pause or mute the sound so you don't get any echoes and stuff. Okay, here we go. So the poll, let me see. So I just done a little thing saying what concerns you the most, which is currently topical. Okay, so migrants seem to be a big concern for most. Bank runs and inflation, marginal, but all of the above. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, so I'm going to come out of that now. It just gives me an idea. Right, wicked. That's all good. Who else have we got here? Abergavenny. Nice. We love it in Abergavenny because the fuel's always cheap there. Nice. Brilliant. Good to see. I'll tell you what was interesting. When I checked the analytics, there wasn't that many people watching from America. I've got no idea why. So it'd be interesting if you guys are watching me from America, if you could share this video and tell friends and family and stuff over there. It'd be good if we can get them subscribed as well, because I've got loads of friends over in America, and it seems to be all my friends watch, but people I don't know just don't know that I do this stuff, which is bonkers. So yeah. Linda from South Wales. I was down in South Wales recently. Beautiful part of the world down there. You guys are well spoilt with the weather. I'll tell you that one. Right. Okay. Here we are. Check this one out. I've got to say, TJ, now, New York. Speaking of New York, some of you guys might have saw the video I've done recently about we got some guys and girls coming onto the channel to do live streams because my email's blowing up like you wouldn't believe. I'm getting over hundreds every single day, and it's impossible to read them all, never alone to reply to them all. One of them was a good friend of mine who I've known for years now. His name's Jason. He's based just outside New York City in America, and he goes under the YouTube channel name Angry Prepper. So we hit up and we've been chatting on email, so we're waiting for Jason to get back to confirm a date and time, but we are looking forward to having Jason on this channel doing a live stream. So it'd be awesome because it's really interesting to see what the similarities are between what's going on in America and what's going on here in the UK. So, and it's especially awesome because he's in a heavily built up urban environment. So it'd be interesting to see how their sort of 15-minute city structures is starting to unravel and unfold out there. So that's cool. So we're going to lose the banner now. Ka-ching. Right. And also, yes, the mailing list. Now, when I was speaking to the guys who are developing the website, incidentally, I know I keep saying it, but it is very nearly finished now. Okay, so we are going to be launching at some point very soon, and I'm very, very pleased to say that the mailing list has gone bonkers. And I remember seeing a few other YouTube guys doing similar sort of stuff than what I do in America and whatnot. And one of them was a guy called Ben. Some of you know Ben. He goes onto the YouTube channel Suspicious Observers. Now, he done a live stream, I think it was last night, and he had a major full-on rant. And it was amazing to see. I didn't expect that because that's the first live that I've seen Ben do. And yeah, it was literally tearing apart snowflakes left, right, and Chelsea. And it was really cool to see. And what surprised me is Ben's got a massive channel. He's got like 650 odd thousand subscribers. And he's got a website which he's had up and running for ages. But currently his mailing list is at 1,000 people. And I thought, whoa, when I heard back from my guys, mine's at nearly 4,000. So that's bonkers. So if you guys, especially 7,100 plus, who have just joined this channel, if you can please sign up to the mailing list, that'd be awesome. And you can join in on some of the latest information. Now, one email went out last week, and we're going to endeavor to do one next week as well, just to give you guys a big heads up of what's coming to this channel. And lots of changes are coming as well, positive changes. So that's going to be absolutely awesome. So yes, that's really good. If you guys can sign up to the mailing list, it will all be good in the hood. So what else? And also, before we crack on, just in case you didn't know, the email address is below this video. All of the videos I do, my email address is there. So if you've got any questions or anything you want to share with me, whether it's just my own ears and eyes, or you indeed want me to share with as many people as possible, don't hesitate. Send me an email. It's all good. It's all encrypted as well. Okay, we're paying a lot of money to get top drawer encryption for emails. And if you wish to remain anonymous, it's absolutely fine. There's no way I'm going to reveal any of your information. If you say so, it's all good. Incidentally, the same with the mailing list. You sign up to that. All you need is one email address, no other information. I've paid some money and we signed up to GDPR, so it's all level above board, and indeed that is encrypted as well. So totally safe and secure. And last but not least, the courses, they're going very, very well. We've got 2 coming up. One, I think, is in May, and one of them is in June or July, and they're nearly sold out already. So if you want to get on the courses, underneath this video is a link to my website. You can go on there and you can book survival and prepper courses. So that would be good to see you up there. And drop it into the chat because we're just about to kick off. We got 1,334 people. Let's get started. Things to come. Absolutely things to come. So we are going to look at all sorts of stuff, which is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers what's been going on. So we're going to get on with strikes. Okay. So here's a little thing that I typed up earlier, and I'm chucking up on the screen now. This is just for this month here in the UK. So the 1st of April, which is tomorrow, if you didn't know, train strikes. Nearly 40,000 people involved in these train strikes with 14 different companies. So if you are planning on using the train tomorrow, please check before you go. The last thing you want to do is to pack a suitcase, pack some bags, get the family, get a taxi all the way to the train station to find out, guess what? No train. Also, if you're planning on flying in and out of the UK, because this is security staff, so it's going to be needed for departures and arrivals, you're looking at between the 2nd and the 9th. Okay, that is at Heathrow Airport. And also rolling on from Terminal 5, which is the same airport, you've got between the 11th and the 14th. There's lots of strike action going on with security staff. Now, I don't know who this is going to affect, but junior doctors, they are going to be striking as well between the 11th and the 14th of April. That's based in England. And look at this, the 17th to the 28th, driving instructors. Now, that is a massive long strike. Now, there's so many different locations regarding driving instructors. It was impossible to stick it all on one screen, believe it or not. So if you have got members of the family or friends doing driving lessons and stuff like that, or driving tests, please check to see if you're going to be affected during those dates. Okay. And on the 28th, yep, civil servants and public service workers, 130,000 of them are going on strike. So that is going to mean big problems for anyone that is going to be involved with anything going through that pipeline. Okay. And right off the bat, what have we got? 1,586 here right now. I'm going to make a prediction based on listening to a real good friend of mine who is going to be in a live stream on Tuesday. Now, this is a prediction which he firmly backs. Now, I'm going to share it with you right now. Yes, there we go. This year, Joe Biden will step down. Okay. He is going to be gone. Thank God. I mean, the damage that that guy has done. Basically, he's a yes man. Now, like I keep saying, the reason why we're all in this mess is because of yes men. And he indeed is one of them. All right. So, yes, that is basically some of the real short, up-to-date stuff regarding strikes and all that sort of thing. So we're moving along now. You guys have heard of the WEF, right? Now, some of you may or may not know. So we're going to share some of this just to give you guys a flavor of how big this machine is. And the World Economic Forum is a machine. And check this out. This is our current king, who's a great friend of Mr. Schwab. Yes, sir. It makes me feel sick when I see things like that. It's the thing that we don't really want to see, but yes, it's absolutely true. So lots of us already know that Charlie Boy, Mr. Sausage Fingers himself, has been really big on climate and stuff for a long period of time. And why do you think that is? Because it's literally been in with the World Economic Forum for a long time now. He didn't just turn up in 2020 like some people say. And not only that, guess what? The guy pretty much running China is great friends with our friend Mr. Schwab, and it just goes on and on and on. Now, do you remember the last live stream I done last Friday when we covered what was going on in France? And guess what? That is still going on right now. They are not backing down, and that is why I've got the absolute utmost respect for the French for doing what they're doing. Okay, and guess what? Yep, here he is, Mr. Macron with our friend Mr. Schwab once again. So, is anyone smelling a rat with what is going on? All of the big changes. Like I said, with Mr. Macron, his term in office is due to come to an end this year, and he is literally just doing as he's told. Again, another yes man. Now we're going to run full circle with this right to the end of this live stream, explaining yes men. Okay. Now, if you think that's bad with the World Economic Forum, look at this. Unbelievable. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Oh, yes. Absolutely amazing. This was in 2006. So this goes way back. Okay. But not only that, look at this. Leonardo DiCaprio. Again, you can see there in 2016. So this is pre the issue. Okay. They've been in bed with all of these conglomerates for a long time now. And to put the cherry on the cake, the little girl who was sobbing and saying, oh, we need to save the planet, she is literally reading a script which was written from the World Economic Forum. I know, it just gives you guys a bit of a flavor of how all of this situation is unfolding. Okay, it really is nuts. It's bonkers. Just quickly, I've just noticed that. Thank you, Martin, over on PayPal for that donation, sir. That's very kind. Thank you very much indeed. That's really awesome. And we just can continue. Now, look at this. You know, you've been hearing stories about these problems with banks and all of that sort of thing. Well, I'm just going to show you. These are just banks in the United Kingdom which are no longer here. Look at this. Absolutely insane. So we're going to go on to the UK in a sec, but before we do that, we're just doing failed banks from America right now. Okay, so Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank, yes, they are gone, and that is going to have a massive knock-on effect. Okay, Silicon Valley Bank, there was a lot of other banks connected with that, and they are seriously running around trying to get as much funding with bonds and everything else as they possibly can just to remain trading. All right. So look at back in 2020 when the issue happened. All of these banks in America are gone, and they're gone for good. Ericsson State Bank, the First State Bank, now that's a big bank, and the First City Bank of Florida, Armenia State Bank, yes, they are all gone. Now, when you consider the implications and the ramifications of these banks, which are just going, and look what's happened in the UK. These are the banks who have actually gone bust in the UK. West Midlands Savings Bank, Westminster Bank, William Brands and Sons and Co., William and Glyn's Bank, William Deacon's Bank, and the Woolwich. All them banks are gone, and they are long gone. Okay, absolutely nuts. It really, really is. So let's see what we're going to go to. There's a few things I need to go. So well done, everyone, for turning up. It's absolutely awesome. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go over these things here. Wow. You guys are awesome in the chat. I'm just checking it out now. It's brilliant. Right, there we go. I found it. So I'm just waiting, because sometimes what happens is we get pop-ups and stuff, and it's a complete nightmare. No one wants to see all of that sort of stuff. So we're going over to the shared screen now. I want you to have a little go through this. New rules and major bill increases coming into force next month, which is starting from tomorrow. Okay. So we've talked about this before, and the problem is because we speak about these things way before it starts to come out on the mainstream, sometimes we forget. So check this out. Absolutely unbelievable. So this is tomorrow, the 1st of April. And incidentally, I don't know why they say April 1st. It should be the 1st of April. So that's just my thoughts on it. Some elements of the government loan scheme which help first-time buyers will come to an end in England, though some elements will still continue in Wales. It was introduced as a way to tackle house prices and interest rates, which deterred many first-time buyers by providing some extra financial help. In Wales, you can still get a loan to help with the cost of a new build home if you're a first-time buyer, and this scheme has been extended to 2025. Now, this thing here, why don't you just go away? No thanks. I hate these pop-ups. Now, look at this. Increase in energy bills. Now, this is quite unnerving when you see this, right? Because the energy bill support scheme will come to an end. Now, most of us have been having £70 every month coming off of our energy bill. Okay, that is going to stop. That is it. It's done. It's finished. So we're no longer going to be having that little bit of extra money to ourselves for other important things. That's going to be gone. The actual price of electricity and gas will not go up as the price guarantee stays in place, but your £70 a month discount will end. So when you think about it, okay, £70 a month times 12 months, that's £840 a year, which you are no longer going to receive. Okay. And to some people, it might not be much. To a lot of people, it actually means a massive difference. It really, really does. Council tax as well. Now, this is another scary thing. A large proportion of councils across the UK are increasing council tax by at least 5%, and some are much more. An average Band D property will now cost you an extra £100 a year more. So already that's £940 a year you're going to be worse off. As if it isn't bad enough as it is. Now, this is quite interesting. Increases in living wage and minimum wage. So look at this. The national living wage right, has increased to £10.42. Mate, if you can survive on £10.42 an hour in this day and age with a family, wow, you're going to seriously need to do something else or get a different job. That sort of money is ridiculous. It really, really is insane. And of course, when you go down to look at this, 16 to 17-year-olds who are trying to sort of make a start out in the world, look at that, £5.28 an hour. Really, absolutely criminal. And if you think all of this is getting bad, well, check this out. Water bills. Now, this is really going to kick people where it hurts. Households will see the largest increase to their water bills in almost 20 years from tomorrow. Industry Body Water UK said the 7.5% increase would mean bills rise to an average of £448 a year. That's just insane. Like I say, on top of everything else which you see going up. The rise means customers will pay an average £1.23 per day on average, an increase of 8p a day, or an average of £31 more than last year's charges. Now, I'm sorry to bring the bearer of bad news, but it gets worse. Now, this is interesting because this comes into play from tomorrow. Now, most of us will probably understand that there's not much you can do in this day and age if you are not on the internet or you don't have a mobile phone. Okay, that's just how it is. Millions of broadband and mobile phone customers can expect to face monthly bill increases of at least 14% from April, so next month. Okay, 14%. That's just ludicrous. Providers link their annual price rises to January's CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index, or Retail Price Index, which is the RPI, which was 10.5% and 13.4%. So everything is going up. BT, EE, plus net Vodafone broadband contracts will rise 3.9%, and TalkTalk 3.7%. Shell Energy can add CPI plus 3%. Sky and Virgin Media contracts allow mid-contract price increases, but they do not speculate on pricing formula in the same way as their rivals. So literally, if you are with BT or Virgin Media, it might be good, it might be bad. They're not really releasing any information on that. Okay, so it's definitely something to be wary of. Now, maternity pay, paternity pay, all of that is changing as well. So the Department of Work and Pensions, they are confirmed that it's going to increase pay rates for several statutory entitlements. Statutory maternity, paternity, adoption, shared parental bereavement will increase from £156 a week to £172 a week. So that is not even £20 extra a week. That's nothing in this day and age. Meanwhile, statutory sick pay, wow, look at that, will increase from £99.35 a week. Basically, you're going to get an extra £10 a week if you're off sick. Now hear this, guys, because not every employer will offer you sick pay. Okay, lots of the smaller companies who just can't afford to do it, you're going to have to rely on the government for sick pay, and you're not going to get a penny unless it's gone over 3 days. Okay, it might even change, it might even be more than 3 days. So yeah, if you're off sick for 1, 2, or 3 days, you are not going to get a bean. Really, really bad news. Okay, now this is interesting, the gender pay gap report. I'm not even going to go there because that just infuriates me, all this gender stuff. Income tax changes. Now, listen to this. This is going to make it even harder for you guys who are trying to progress through this recession. And yes, we are in a recession, guaranteed. The 45% additional rate of income tax threshold is being cut from 150 grand to 125 grand, which means higher earners will pay more tax. Wow. That is just insane. So you are getting screwed every which way. Okay. That's just nuts. So from how I understand this, then, if you earn over £150,000 a year, you're going to have to pay 45% of it in tax. That was what it was. Now, if you earn over £125,140 a year, you're going to have to pay nearly half of that in tax. That's just, oh my God, that's criminal. And yes, of course, it seems like a lot of money, but honestly, there's people out there who are struggling and they're really trying to make a go of it and do the best they can. So to just imagine spending, what is it, £2 or so over that figure, and it automatically puts you into that 45% tax bracket. Man, I'm reckoning there's going to be lots of people trying to get it just under that 125k. The personal allowance will remain frozen at 12,570, as will the 20% tax threshold from 12,571 to 50 grand, just over. Inheritance tax, which is an absolute con, 325k. Wow, the nil bound rate's going down to 175 now. Yes, this just goes on and on and on. Okay. Now look at this. I know people out there who are on benefits, and it is what it is. It absolutely is what it is, because it's not that easy. If you lose your job and you just can't get one, and you're going to have to go on that, even if it's just for an interim thing, okay, you are going to have to jump through lots and lots and lots of hoops, okay? And if you're like me, you just hate giving away any private or personal information, something like that, they basically just take all your clothes off and they just go through everything. It's just inhumane, okay? Look at that. Inflation-linked benefits and tax credits will rise 10% from April. So we're starting from next month, in line with the CPI. Jeremy Hunt, I nearly said that correctly. Expensive commitment of £11 billion mean 10 million working age families will see a much needed increase. So yes, it's going to go up, but it's not going to go up that much. Okay, bearing in mind everything is going up absolutely through the roof. Now look at this. The first of 3 cost of living payments will arrive in accounts between the 25th of next month and the 17th of May. The £301 payment is to help people on benefits, including universal credit, job seekers allowance, with the cost of living. So you are going to be getting 3 of those payments a year, which with my maths works out at £903 a year. Okay. So like I say, when we bear in mind all of the swings and roundabouts about what they're putting up, what they're taking down, etc., you aren't really going to be better off at all. It seriously is looking that bad. Just say this. Wow. I wish I could pronounce that. Maioli. Thank you very much for that awesome donation. That's amazing. Myola, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that over on PayPal there. Absolutely bonkers. So yeah, looking at the guys in the comments now. Yeah, it really is. It's a massive kick, isn't it, guys? It seriously is. So what have we gone through? Laws and people's going up. Right, we need to go and check something quickly. I wish I got all this set up now. So yes, we've gone through that. We've gone through that. We're getting some of this set up. Right. Yeah, these you're going to need to see these guys. You wait to show you this in a minute. It's absolutely bonkers. Right, just double check that. And that one there. Right, all good in the hood. So, things to expect this year. Now, like I said, some of these things are bonkers. Seriously bonkers. So we're just going to have a look at that one's been done. That one's been done. This one. Right, we're looking at this. Digital ID. Okay. So look at the date of this. The 3rd of February. I don't know why they're saying it February the 3rd all of a sudden. It's getting like America. It should be the 3rd of February, but they're all doing it. So, digital ID and the legislation for use here in the UK. Now look at this. The UK government is seeking public comment on how to make it easier to prove one's identity online. It's looking like this is where it's all going, and it doesn't seem to be anything to slow or indeed stop this from happening. These measures, now look, we need to look at these measures, okay? Creating a governance framework to oversee the accreditation and certification of digital identification service providers. Creating a permissive legal gateway to allow trusted private sector organizations to check data held by public bodies for identity verification. Establishing that digital identities and attributes have the same validity as physical proofs of ID, such as passport, photo, driving license, etc. This is absolutely coming down the line. Oh man, do you know what? Just reading this makes me feel sick. Then here's an interesting thing. Many of the individuals who responded to the consultation said they were against digital identities in principle, the consultation paper stated. So we're still waiting to see the outcome of that consultation, which that window was very short. I believe it was 6 weeks, and that window was closed recently. So it'd be interesting to see what has actually happened with that result of that. Now, look at this. This is what we said on a video recently before we went live tonight. It adds that the government has heard this and has no plans to make the use of digital identities compulsory. The government also understands that there is no public support for ID cards in the UK and has no plans to introduce ID cards. Now, look at that. Remember this, and remember today's date, which is the 31st. Okay. 31st of March. Now, I bet you any money that the government do a massive U-turn on what I just said, okay? Look at that. Consumers increasingly expect recession. Sorry to bother you, but we are in a recession already. Absolute nightmare scenario. It really, really is. Digital ID. No, not for me. So with that being said, this is quite interesting, which I pulled up earlier. Who remembers this guy? Tony Blair. Look at this. Tony Blair and William Hague. Who remembers William Hague? Yes. Look at that. Every time I see that guy, it makes me feel sick. We've exposed Tony Blair as a Fabian, a member of the Fabian Society, on a few videos ago. And yes, some of you have been emailing me saying they've been looking into what he's been up to. And that is one scarily evil, powerful guy. Okay. Now, he is behind a lot of things. Now, check this out. I'm going to highlight this. In February, former Prime Minister Tony Blair and ex-Tory leader William Hague called for every British citizen to receive digital ID cards as part of a technological revolution. They made their case in a new national purpose. Innovation can power the future of Britain. A 21,000 word report published by the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. You remember when we spoke about the Fabian Society, and in that image that we showed you on that stained glass window, when it was actually reshaping the planet, global change is exactly what's going on. Also proclaimed on Radio 4's Today programme, at the time, the UK must redesign the state around technology. No, we must not. I am not in agreement with the left, the liberals, and progressives. I do not like change, and most of us don't, but this seems to be absolutely forced upon us. It really, really does. Look at that. Civil liberties. Now, that is the key thing in this paragraph. Okay. Civil liberties. Look at this as well. Highlighted in quote. This is everything from V status to airplane tickets and banking details are available on our personal devices. So they're basically wanting to get this digital ID to literally be behind everything. Honestly, I mean, I could read on and on and on and on. It's not looking good, is it, guys? But check this out. Now, I've been a big advocate of these guys, right? And I'm just going to get this and pull this up here. Now, this place is called Big Brother Watch. Now, if any of you guys are new to all of this stuff which is coming out, check out what these guys are up to. They're absolutely doing all sorts of interesting things, okay? The Ministry of Truth, which we've talked about, okay? Look at this, protesting. Like we see in France recently that Macron said that all protests are to be banned. So what does that tell you? Protest. How can you ban protest? I mean, who do they think they are, these people? Stop thermal surveillance. Wow. So some of you guys, I don't know, may know this or may not, but all of this 5G infrastructure, which they're putting into streetlights and that sort of thing, there's going to be so many things which they can actually see you inside your house. Once this 5G grid network is all up and running, smart technology, your smart meter, Internet of Things, etc. Yes, absolutely. They can see you in your home thermally. Okay, get involved. These things, absolutely. No, I never took part in it and I never will. All of these passes with these QR codes, okay? In fact, anyone supporting QR codes for any reason, you know, no friend of mine. It's just disgusting, that technology. Really don't like it at all. And data watch as well. Look at that fraud risk. Now that there is what I've been talking about for years. Okay, you start getting all of this mass data surveillance and sharing, there's absolutely an absolute risk of fraud. Okay, so that can be stolen, that can be used against you, etc. Spying. Look at this, all of this. Now, who remembers what happened in 2020 when all the issues started? How many people in the chat right now, or indeed watching on the replay, how many people read through the Coronavirus Act or the Coronavirus Bill? I think it was. I stand corrected. I did. And let me tell you this, that was just talk about create a crisis and absolutely make so many totalitarian laws and rules and regulations and mandates and everything else, all coming from what happened in 2020. Free speech online. We've already talked about the online safety bill, which I really hope that gets rebutted and kicked out of the way. We do not, seriously, do not want that online safety bill to be passed. That would probably be game over, guys, because we will no longer be able to communicate online privately, no matter how good the encryption is. Okay, the only way you're going to do that is you're going to have to actually reside from outside of the UK. Look at that. And that too. Absolutely horrible. Definitely worth a watch. So, wow, we're just checking the chat. Over 2,200 people. That's pretty amazing, guys. Right. Yes, I need to show you this. This is quite cool. Now, look at this. Who believes that this is factual? Inflation, 10.4%. Who actually believes that, really? I mean, can you see how much? Look at the Bank of England target rate. It's just blown past that. And look at the issue. Look, 2020, where lots of things happened, it literally just went bosh, straight through the roof. Like I said, I've done a recent video about food inflation and the real price of food. If you haven't seen that, it's very, very easy to do. I would just recommend that every now and again that you save your till receipts when you'll go to supermarkets, especially if you're buying long-term store items like tins, packet stuff, dried stuff, that sort of thing. Keep them away, keep them safe, make sure you remember where you put them. And every year or so, look at the price you're paying currently to that. That will give you a true reflection of what inflation, especially with food, is doing. Don't forget, when they talk about inflation and these figures, they're not including fuel and food in that. So if they was to add that into there, which would be a true reflection of inflation, man, you're looking at 50%. Yeah, way more than 10%. Absolutely scary of what the mainstream is pushing out. It really, really is. There you go. Kevin, you're absolutely on point, mate. Yeah, between 40 and 50%. So if you believe that we are not in a recession right now, you're literally being a yes man and part of the problem because you're believing the mainstream media. Do not believe the mainstream media. Do not. It's the opposite, basically, of what they're saying. And what house have we got to share? Oh, yes. The migrant situation. Now, you won't believe the amount of emails that I'm getting about all of the stuff that's going on with these fighting age males all over the UK. And like I said in recent videos, it's absolutely impossible. It's impossible to get an idea of what is going on with how many there actually are. It's insane. It's through the roof. There's got to be way over 200,000 of them over here right now. And that's a scary thing, because when we talked about all of the hotels and the problems that local communities which these hotels are placed inside, they're going to struggle, especially in tourist season, which is going to be summertime. Okay. It's horrible. It's horrific, because all of these small businesses which are seriously reliant on tourism trades in summertime, in peak season, they're going to be struggling. They're probably going to be going out of business. Like we said before, if you haven't already heard me say this, when the issue happened in 2020, like I said, the biggest problem which is contributing to all of this is people saying yes. Okay. Lots of the government and the mainstream media were saying all this, saying all of that. And because people done as they're told, lots of them never reopen their businesses again. And we're talking, some of them are generational. Okay. So it's a dying shame, which you're actually seeing that. Okay. It's heartbreaking, because people believe the media, they believe the government, because they thought they're here to help us. Wrong. It's the opposite. No matter what you hear from the mainstream and the government, it's the opposite of what they're saying. If you try and get that into your head and read between the lines, you'll get a better idea of what is actually going on. So it'd be interesting to see. In fact, it's probably impossible to get figures of how many people watch, like the BBC News on the TV, or ITN or ITV, whatever it is. Okay, I bet you them viewing figures are in decline since 2020. Now, I believe 2020 was a switch which flicked all of this lunacy, which is heading up to Agenda 2030, into warp speed. As Donald Trump once said, it's going overdrive. They're absolutely accelerating so much. And like we've exposed on the 15-minute cities and recent videos, they have brought the 2050 agenda to 2040. So they really are pushing this. And one of the main reasons why I think this is happening is because all of this information is getting out there of what is actually going on. And they are doing their best. They are working so hard to silence people like me and others who are trying to get the truth out there. And like I said, the main fear, not fear, but the main concern for people like me is the online safety bill. Because let me tell you this, if that ever gets passed, and I God, I hope it doesn't, that will mean the end of getting information out there. And the only information you're going to be able to get online is going to be whatever the mainstream says. Now, some of you researchers like myself will probably be aware of this over the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, that when you went on to search on different search and platforms, okay, for certain research purposes, you would see a lot of independent stuff within the first couple of pages. Guess what? You start doing that stuff now, you've got to be 20 pages, way more than that now. It's growing every month, in fact. It's insane. And all you're going to see is the mainstream narrative come up page after page after page after page, anything to do with that. Okay, so it's getting really, really hard to find out what's going on, to research, to get to the truth and to share it. One, it's hard to find the information, and two, it's hard to share it because we are being demonetized, deplatformed. Or in that live stream that I done last week about the French stuff, that got demonetized. I didn't get a single penny for that video because the YouTube guys are saying that it was too violent. It should be for over 18s only, which is very strange because from a content creator like myself and many others, when we upload videos and we schedule them to go public, there's a little box that you check, and I say on it every time, it's not made for kids, i.e. anyone under 18 this is not meant for. But they went one further. Anything with any sort of violence or any nudity or sexual things, which is another bugbear of mine, because I got demonetized for showing the truth, which is violence mainly from the police against the French citizens. And guess what? No, scrubbed all the monetization, didn't get no money for that whatsoever. So it is getting hard to get the information out there. So if they can demonetize me for doing that, why is it that when you go on YouTube and you see all of these pop videos with all of these semi-clad women doing provocative dance routines, and it says like nudity or any suggestive, how come that's allowed, but I'm not allowed to share the truth? And it wasn't like it was extreme violence where people were getting their heads blown off and stuff like this. It's insane. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you see real lifelike gaming on YouTube, which is the biggest growing sector of video content, is gaming on YouTube. So I just got to chuckle at that before it disappears. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Oh, wow. Oh, David Crosby. Nice. Thanks for that donation. That's awesome. So, yeah, how come they can show all of these computer games, which are getting realistically lifelike every single day? How come you can see all of that where people getting their brains blown out and stuff like that? That's violence. And you see all sorts of like shorts and clips and stuff of people getting run over in real life. They get monetized. Again, anyone speaking out and questioning what is going on with all of these events around the world. And let me tell you this, it's not just Paris. It's not just Bordeaux in certain parts of France. It's going on in other parts of the world. Now, I know some of you guys in the chat right there are going to be saying, yep, where else is it happening? You'll see it in the chat, and indeed you'll see it in the comments under the video. This stuff is starting to get out of hand. And like I predicted, I am expecting to see big problems, especially this summer here in the UK. Like we touched on earlier with all of the rises and changes which are starting from tomorrow. Okay, that's why I called this video Things to Come, because these things are coming. All right, now it all seems perfectly planned and set up to me from how my mind works. Okay, all of these stuff going on in France, I mean, they're going to protest and riot in any weather, whether it's Christmas Day or whatever. We're a little bit more soft here in the UK. We tend to wait till the weather's better because we don't want to get wet and cold outside when we protest. So when you see all of these changes starting from tomorrow, which are going to directly affect people, especially on people who are struggling, whether they're struggling with a multitude of things, okay, whether it's mental, physical, financial, all of these people are going to be struggling from tomorrow going through this year. And I think a lot of people are going to get involved. Many people who have never been on a protest or a riot before are literally going to turn up and make their voices heard. And guess what? If it really does come off like I think it is, I'm going to be joining them too. Yes. I'm saying that right here, right now. And I've never lied before. Not on YouTube. So without further ado, we're wearing this awesome company in America, 50 cal with Barrett. Look at that. So we're going to be opening this. Now, like I said in previous videos, if you've not tried this before, if I can try and focus that on there. There you go. Look at that. 8.2%. If you want a really nice tasting cider that gets the job done, yes, that stuff's awesome. So we're going to open it with our 50 cal round, like that. Off you come. And we are going to do the perfect pour. So join me if you can, guys. It doesn't matter if it's a glass of water, a cup of tea, a tequila sunrise, or whatever it's going to be. Just make sure that you have time for yourself. It's been a crazy, crazy week, and you know you've worked hard and you deserve a bit of chill time for yourself. And look at that. And I'm so confident I'll do that over my keyboard because I know I'm not going to bugger it up. So, let me just get that over here. Cheers, people. 100,000 of you. I've got to put that down. I'm limited for space here. Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Wow, that certainly hits the spot. Really, really does. Ooh. And also, like I said, when we touched on the commodity prices earlier, when we talked about oil, okay, so the WTI, and we got crude oil as well, and Brent, etc. All of them sort of prices are remaining quite stagnant for the time being. They have been lowering, and they start to seem rebounding now. But it's not going to affect the price of the pumps because our wonderful government are going to increase fuel duty next month. So anytime from tomorrow when they announce it, they are going to be increasing fuel duty. Like I said, you still got time. If you've got a few jerry cans, get some fuel in there, because like we touched on earlier, with all of these price increases and everything across the board, every single penny is going to count. Okay, so if you can imagine, say if you're paying £1.60 a litre thereabouts of diesel at the moment, are you going to be pretty gutted if you didn't get anything at that price and it goes up to £1.98, £2.03, £2.20? It could do. You've missed the opportunity then, because you would have saved all of that money. And especially if you drive a vehicle a lot of miles, a lot of fuel, it is going to absolutely save you a few bob. Excuse me. That's what us preppers do. We see what's happening, whether it's short term or long term, and we do something to ensure, one, that we remain healthy, two, we remain happy, and three, we remain safe. Okay, that's my three core things which I've literally pressed the fire button on when I become a dad, a father. Okay, three things that I must do for my family: keep them healthy, happy, and safe. So as preppers, we want to try and adopt that mindset going forward. Okay, do whatever we can to make sure that them three things remain constant. So whatever you can, okay, healthy, happy, and safe. You're going to be a lot happier if you've got 100 litres of diesel, which you spent £1.60 a litre on, stuck away in a garage out of the way, or do nothing about it and wait till them become £2.20 a litre and then start going, whoa, it's costing me a fortune every week to run this vehicle. It's the same thing. So yes, all of that is going down. What else is there? Also, the banks as well. We spoke about banks and like possible bank runs because we've been having issues. And look what happened with Credit Suisse in Switzerland. Who would have saw that coming? It's the second largest bank in Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is renowned for having strong, independent, safe banking. And when you see that happening, and like I said, with the other banks, okay, all of that stuff is all connected. Now, when you get a big corporation like that take a massive hit, it's going to affect others, and all those other banks, they're scratching around. And the thing is, lots of people are now getting savvy. Okay, so when I say to people, and I've been saying this for a long time, right, if you've got X amount of money in the bank, make sure that you only keep in the bank what's needed for direct debit bills and rent, that sort of thing. Okay, everything else, try your best to take it out in cash. Keep it safe. If you are going to keep it at home, hide it in 4 or 5 different locations, because if you do get burgled or turned over, you have still got a chance of having something rather than leaving it all in one place and it getting discovered. It's not financial advice. It's just the sort of thing which I've been talking to people about for years. And it just makes more sense to me, because if there is a run on a bank, when people start panicking, they start to withdraw all of their stuff or even closing their account, that's the problem. All I'm saying is just take a little bit out at a time. Oh, check this out. This is from Darren, the same name as mine. How cool is that? Congratulations on your 100,000 subs. PayPal on the way. No way. Seriously? I better go and check. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. This is from Lucy. Lucy, you're a legend, my sweetheart. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Oh, you guys are brilliant. Fantastic. But yeah, absolutely. You know, the banks, they've got big, big problems at the moment. And like we said, you know, people are starting to take cash out of their bank. Now, personally, I'm only allowed to take out £250 a day. Okay. Some people can have 300, some people can have 500. And some people may even only be allowed to take a smaller amounts out per day. So that would be my advice. If you are concerned about how the banks are looking, and let's be frank, they are seriously near the brink of going belly up this year. Okay. I would just say, like I do when I get my preps. Okay. When I get like, when I've got tins of beans and it's starting to get low, I check the dates and move all of the old dates to the front, and I start going buying some more tins again. I'll only get like 2 or 3 at a time a week. Okay. Oh, check this out. Oh, banana. Thanks for that. That's awesome. Look at that. It's a banana super sticker. Awesome. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. But yeah, a little bit at a time. It's when the mainstream media gives preppers and stuff like that a bad name because they are going to use strong words. Now, lots of you know I'm really big on strong words. That's why, if I can find it, that's why I tend to use and refer to a really old dictionary. Okay, there's words in here which you will not find on current or new or modern dictionaries. Okay, it's absolutely imperative that we learn the power of words, and they are using the words, especially in the mainstream media, words like hoarding, stockpiling. Preppers are hoarding food. It's not. I wouldn't say go into a supermarket once a week and getting 2 or 3 tins of baked beans in your trolley amongst your other stuff and putting them home and putting them on the shelf. That is not hoarding or stockpiling. That is not panic buying. Okay. The mainstream media would have you believe that preppers go on and they just go panic buying. No, the idea of a prepper mindset, of how I understand it, is you get a little bit at a time if you really need it, and you do it when they're on offer to make your money go further. Okay. The second you start going out there and getting 50 tins of beans at full price, no, preppers do not do that. And if they are, they're giving true preppers a bad name. Let me just, oh my God, you guys are hitting me up with this amazing. Black Fang Werewolf. Oh my God, you guys, you donate all the time. That's awesome. Never trust anyone in a suit. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when you look at most criminals, okay, most criminals wear suits when you actually think about it. It's not the thug on the street. No, you compare him to someone like Tony Blair, and that's a criminal. Big time. What's this? Oh, Darren. Dude, really? Darren. Man, oh, bless you, brother. Thanks for that donation. Oh, you really made me spit my bloody cider out. So, yeah, when you're seeing like people withdraw amounts of cash from their bank because they got concerns, and bloody rightly so as well. Okay, there's nothing worse than knowing that you've got all of your money in one bank account. You wake up in the morning and you put the radio on while you're getting ready to go for work, and the news comes out: such and such bank is having a bank run right now. And you turn the TV on or whatever it is, or you look at your phone and you see all of these queues, just like we saw with Northern Rock. People panic. That's what they're doing. It's like preppers, well, non-preppers, when people worry when something happens, they panic buy. And when people who are ill-informed, they're going to go to the bank and they're going to panic bank, as it were. They're going to go there and they're going to want to get all of their money out and put it somewhere else. Okay. So preppers don't do things like that. Preppers do little things like taking amounts of cash every so often out of their bank just to make sure that they've got just the right amount in that bank. The rest of it's cash, okay? And they use cash. They don't sit on it. They have to spend it like I do. I mean, I wish I could keep a big lump of cash here, which can't afford it. It literally comes in one hand and out the other. But when I use cash, I use it with pride. Okay, I'll go into a shop and I'll buy whatever and I'll give them cash and they give me change. Change is good. We keep it in a bag. And so when we're out in car parks or that sort of thing, we have to put £1 in for a couple of hours or wherever it's going to be. We've already got cash. Okay. It's fantastic. And you can actually look physically and know how much you've got rather than going on your banking app on your phone and saying, oh, that's all right. I've still got another 300 quid. But how do you know that it's up to date and current? £100 might be pending. And all of a sudden that's already come out. You've already spent some more. Oh, God, guess what? I've now got £5 and it's got to last me 5 days until I get paid next. That's scary. If you look at cash, you can generally have a real appreciation. And I know it's fiat currency, but the reason I say this to people is because you do preserve your privacy. Every time that you use an online or a card or whatever, it's tracked and traced. Whoever's got access to the information, and don't forget, it can be hacked. They know exactly what you've bought, where you've bought it. Okay, so always use cash. Take bits and pieces out of the bank. The big thing is when you look at the interest rates that you're getting from banks, okay, they're way less than 1%. Okay, now some people already are starting to wise up to this and they're transferring all of that money from their bank, closing it down and putting it into market investment banks because they're going to be getting 4% plus interest. And the risk is pretty much negligible. It's almost the same, very low risk. So why wouldn't you do that? So the more people are waking up to this, and this is happening right now, people are closing their accounts because they're getting a piss poor interest rate and they want to make their money do something. So it doesn't take a genius to work out that 4% is a lot better than 0.1% or 0.5%, whatever the banks are offering you right now. That's what's going on. And that is what's going to lead to banking runs here in the UK. It's only a matter of time. There's no way that you've got like the Bank of England and you've got the government saying, oh, no, we could personally guarantee up to £85,000, blah, 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 blah. Really? But what happens if loads of people just went to their bank and they just transferred it into a higher interest account somewhere else? Their bank's going to have big problems because they're offering ridiculously low interest rates. They're using your money to literally bet on the stock market and try and get as much profit for themselves. People are waking up to this right now, and we are going to be having bank runs in the UK definitely this year. So personally, if you have got a shed load of money in one bank account, you are at risk right now from how I understand it and how I see things based on emails. Some of them are from professionals and advising me, look, if you've got loads of money in the bank, do something about it. If you leave it there, you are at risk this year of losing all of it or some of it. And the last thing anyone wants is to have their nice little nest egg, which they've worked really hard for, to see it. Sorry, there's no money. And another thing as well, I dare you do this. Go to your bank. Just say, for example, off the top of my head, you've got £5,000 in credit in your bank. Go around there and say, can I withdraw £4,900 in cash, please? They won't be able to do it. Okay. So when you think of a bank on a high street, you would expect them to have hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank. No, they got a very, very little float. Very little. In fact, if you wanted 95% of your account taken out in cash, it's going to take you days, weeks, or even months in some cases, which I've been told. And they're going to do everything they can to discourage you from doing it as well. And the best thing to do is to say, if you wanted, say, anything up to say 30,000 quid, if you was fortunate enough to have that, I would say you're buying a car. That's the best way to do it. Okay, because you can easily get that. No, I spoke to the guy selling the car. I really want this car. I can afford it. I want to get that car. He's only dealing in cash. I've come to get cash out and I've got loads of money left in your account. And they're going to do all sorts to discourage you from doing it, even though it's your own freaking money, you know? And even the best, if they do crumble and say, yes, we can give it to you, it's going to take weeks to get anything over £5,000 in cash to you. And it's your money. So, yeah, that's a scary thing. And that is coming down the road, big style. What else have we got? Oh, you guys are mental in the chat. Awesome. Happy days. Right. What else we got? Right. Let's see. Oh my, you're kidding, really? Graham, that's nuts, brother. You are helping so many people. Bless your little cotton socks. Graham. Honestly, dude, that's a massive donation, sir. I don't know why it goes so dark when I hold it up. That's nuts. You serious? Oh, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. What are you trying to do to me, man? Yes, I do. I try and help as many people as I possibly can. And because when you start to believe in karma and indeed dharma, if you understand what dharma means, just help people, give more. And I don't usually talk about this, but I do give money to people out on the streets, homeless. Okay, I can't really afford it, but I do, because just imagine if you was in that situation. You know what I mean? Reverse it, and the more that you give, the more that you help. That's how it should be, and I think that's where humanity struggled for a long time. People take, they don't give. So I give whatever I can. Okay. I mean, some of you know a friend of mine, Mike, weapon collector. Sometimes when I finish this live stream, I'll go onto his, and every now and again, I'll bung him like 20, 50 quid or whatever it is. I can't really afford it, but he hasn't got much money and he's a good guy, and I'll try and help him. I think that's what we should all do, is just help other people, because we would be in a pretty crap society if we didn't help each other. I mean, I've got a son now, and I'm very proud of him, extremely proud of my son. So what example am I setting him if I don't give and I don't show him the importance of giving, whether it's information, whether it's kit and equipment like I've done for years, whether it's cash or whatever it is. Okay, even my time in helping people do certain things. I want him to understand that it's good to give and it's good to help. And another thing, if you look at what is going on in the schools recently, that was really shocking about, and in fact, I got an email just before I come on air tonight about all of these emergency drills that they're doing at school now. Okay. Now, I wasn't going to say this, right? So, because I can't really back it up. It's just what someone said. And I've emailed this person back to try and find out more information. Now, there's 2,003 people in here, so a lot of people have left. Unfortunately, every time I do this, a couple of hundred people just go. That's absolutely fine. Then people aren't meant to be here at this time. But what I'm going to tell you, as the government has got a big thing going on nationwide, June or July time. Okay, there's lots of emergency preparedness heading towards June and July. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what is planned to happen, but I've emailed this guy back, and it is within high up in the police, and I'm waiting to hear back what he says. Now, whether I can share the information and what I don't know, but yes, it does look like June, July, something big is going to happen here in the UK. And looking at all of these emergency alerts, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'm definitely going to rule out any nuclear threat. Okay, and I know loads of people worried about nuclear threat. Personally, I don't worry about it. I don't have any time or energy dedicated towards that, because when you think about it, there's nothing you can do. If bombs drop everywhere, you're whacked. Especially if you're in a blast zone. It doesn't matter how many gas masks or respirators or whatever you've got, you're gone, unless you're wealthy enough to have, a facility which is going to keep you alive for God knows how many years or months. About like 300-400 feet under the ground. That's way out of most of our price brackets. No one's going to afford that. So nuclear threats, I'm not really concerned. If there is lots of media and lots of fear about nuclear threats imminent and stuff like that, I think that's just what it is, fear. Like I said in a recent video about this, when they was doing the early morning siren testing in 1980, I think it was. I mean, I was 9 or 10 years old, 9 years old actually. So for a 9-year-old boy to have a nuclear siren right outside the school gate, I mean, you can stand there and look right up at it. And when he was doing them tests, that is a horrific sound, that siren wailing when you're a little kid. And then when you go to the library and you start getting books out about nuclear wars, and then when you discover, this is when I lived in Portsmouth, when you looked at the map and it's got like 4 or 5 airburst and 2 ground burst missiles and bombs aimed right at your city. You know, for a 9-year-old, that is a big lump of fear. And when I put the video up recently, one of the guys commented, I believe is one of our elders. So shout out to the elders out there watching this. He said they'd done exactly the same in the 60s and nothing happened. They'd done exactly the same in the 80s. Nothing happened. And they're going to probably attempt similar this year or next year. And I do believe nothing's going to happen. There's a lot of fear. They can push in a lot of rules, regulations, and laws because of it, which is probably what they might do, considering what happened in 2020 with the issue and the coronavirus bill. If you've got time, look at the coronavirus bill and the Emergency Powers Act and look at the stuff which they're rolling out. It's insane. It's absolutely insane how they can get away with it. Personally, like most of you watching now, the My Corona thing was complete BS. It was a great big data gathering project, which stemmed from Event 201. If you don't understand what that is, check it out. That happened before the issue. And guess what? They theorized exactly what would happen, and it happened. What are the chances? What does that remind you of? Oh, yeah, 9/11, when there was a training exercise going on about the same thing, which actually happened in real time. What else does that remind? Oh, yeah, 7/7. Guess what? They was doing a terrorist attack drill at exactly the same time it was happening in 7/7 in London. So when you start seeing all this BS, you start getting wise to it and you start telling people about it. And when you tell Joe Public about this, they're like, what? Don't be stupid. It wasn't in the BBC News. Where'd you get that from? Some bloke on YouTube. Well, they're the guys who are going to fall by the wayside, aren't they? So, yes, I don't think there's going to be any nuclear thing with this thing which could happen June or July. What else could be? It could be something possible with the banks. That is a distinct possibility. As a betting man, which I'm not, I wouldn't want to put what sort of money on that sort of thing happening in June or July. There could be all sorts of things. And you know what? Me talking about 7/7, it's been quite a long time since we've had a terrorist attack in the UK. Bearing in mind, we've just spoken about MI5's threat level, and it's just gone up in Northern Ireland because their threat level has been raised to severe, which means an attack is most likely. That could possibly be the case. Okay, so why would you spend all of this time, money developing these smartphone alerts, which I've done videos on? Why would they spend all that money, and why would they release it on St. George's Day? What an absolute pea take that is. Okay, on St. George's Day. Talk about they don't give a toss about what they're doing. Seriously, they don't give a toss. They don't give a toss about you. Do you think if the government really give the toss about you, they would sit back and see you struggle? A failing NHS, a failing dental service, a pittance benefits. Would they allow inflation to run away the way it has? Really? If they really cared about us, we wouldn't be struggling. And some people aren't here today because of their gross incompetence. Now, like I said, it could be something which is going to spark mass civil unrest, which is a possibility this summer. Like I said, I'll predict lots of protests, which definitely are going to go up to riots. AK prepping, can't wait for the alien invasion. Do you know what? That was another thing. We talked about Project Bluebeam years ago. And, well, the technology is definitely there to pull that off. Especially if you look at deep fake stuff, how far that's advancing. What have we got here? Oh my God, seriously? Whoa, Deborah on PayPal. I don't deserve all this. That's nuts. Please, you guys. Oh my God. That's absolute. And also Lee as well. I've just seen the super sticker there. Thank you so much for that, Lee, my friend. You're a beautiful. That's beautiful, dude. But yeah, all of these things which could potentially happen, you know, don't rule it out. Don't rule it out. Alien invasion. I do remember reading on many articles since 2010 when I start looking into this stuff, that would be the last throw of the dice from the elites should mass awakening take place, where it gets to a point where whatever they do, people are just not buying it. Okay, which leads us to what I said earlier, which I said, please stay to the end of the video because there's good news. Okay, and yeah, so you are looking at June or July. I wish I could tell you what it's going to be, but I'm hoping to hear back from that guy, and I'm going to find out if I can share it publicly. And if I can't, I'm sorry, I can't. But it's going to be a hard thing for me to keep to myself, knowing that there's big things coming June or July. It could cause a lot of problems for certain people. So, yes, like we said, we have just come full circle. Okay, now tonight's live stream, yes, I do get some flack from people in the comments sometime. Please, oh my God, you guys, what are you doing? BCTV, a different videographer with opinions. Well, dude, thanks for that, dude. Seriously, what a guy, what a lovely guy. I really appreciate it, brother. Honestly, you're like the best buddy subscribers and whatnot. I really, really have. But like we said, full circle, right? The only way that we can stop all of this stuff. Now, lots of people say, "Oh, there's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter if you have a victory of these migrants in one of these Pontins places. They're going to go somewhere else. And if you win and you don't get them in the RAF Scampton, they'll put them somewhere else." Well, all of these people, right? They're negative, narrow-minded, losing naysayers. Okay. Don't spend time with them people. Don't give energy to them people. And in fact, if any of you guys are watching right now with that frame of mind, how do you think we're going to win with an attitude like that? We always win in the end. And one of the best ways that we can win? Don't comply. It's that simple. It's hard, but it's simple at the same time. It's a very simple concept, because when you consider how humanity is and how it's been for thousands of years, what things have you always had? Education. Always. There's always been schools, hasn't there? Okay. The schools have always been run by the state or by a religion. Okay. Always. And why do you think that is? Education is control. That's it in a nutshell. So if you can allow yourself not to be controlled, and you can think freely and critically, and always ask. My son, bless him, he's so much like me, which is I'm proud of. Oh, for God's sake, really? Lady Heather T. Hart, thank you, sir. Really? You guys, I really appreciate it, man. Like, you wouldn't believe. Fucking hell. Don't get me started, because that's a lot of money coming away. That's just, I can't tell you how much that helps. Seriously, you guys are beautiful. Oh, dude, where was I? Yeah, my son. He questions everything. He really, really does. Okay, and sometimes I get a bit drained by it, because it's always why, or what you're doing, why. That's all he asks. What are you doing, and why? Why is that there? Why is that? All the time, constantly. Now, some of us parents who, my son's 5.5, is 6 this summertime. Okay. Now, he asks a lot of questions. And do you know what? That's exactly what people should do. People should ask questions. If there's anything you think, what? Why are the government doing that? That's bonkers. Why? Question it. Don't go, oh, that's the problem. Who we got here? I can't pronounce that. Sheila Maguire. Please buy some pencils. I certainly will. I will absolutely do that. I'm an honourable man, and I will do that. I'm going to go and get him some tomorrow when we go out. Wicked. Oh, Teresa. Right, Teresa, thanks for that, sweetheart, and donation on PayPal. Absolutely awesome. And I think I remember seeing your name here last week. So, guys, you guys who are doing regular, also on Coffee or Ko-fi, you guys hit me up on there too. It's bonkers. You guys are brilliant. So, yeah, education, that's where we win. That's where we win. Can you imagine, right? The powers that be, whoever they are, whatever it is, they set up all these indoctrination camps. Oh, sorry, schools. Okay, that's what I call them. Because when you think about it, right, you get your child, boy or a girl, yes, no other genders, please. They go to school. In my day, it was first school, second school, senior school. That was it. They call it all sorts now, year 10, primary, whatever it is, I don't understand. But that's how I went through the school system, as it were. Okay. So, first school, infant school, I loved it. It was really, really, really good. And I think I was born in September. So, I think I started when I was 6 years old. Okay. On my sixth birthday, off I was going to school. And I was already going to Sunday school. Okay, before leading up to then. So I was getting used to playing with other boys and girls, that sort of thing. And then when I went to first school, I loved it. You know, I learned how to swim there with a really moldy, smelly, damp indoor wooden swimming pool hut, as it were, and just learning with floats and all the rest of it. And it was happy times. As I went to middle school, it wasn't as nice. It gradually got a bit worse. It was okay. But when I went to senior school, you know, the last school, hated it, hated every second of it. It was nothing but fighting, and the lessons were boring. And no, 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 no. So when I went through all of that, and especially now, I mean, I don't know, some of you parents are probably watching this right now. You know, I would hope that when your child comes home from school or you pick them up or whatever it is, that you ask them what they did that day. Now, the thing is, kids are being told not to tell parents about certain things which they've done at school. Okay, that's fact. That's provable. Lots of parents have looked into this and they've found out what has been going on. And the parents, they're not finding out the truth of what's being taught to their kids, especially of a sexual nature, especially at 6 years old. Okay. Now, going back to my school time, I remember doing sex education. Probably it was the end of middle school. So I probably would have been about 11 years old, something like that. But to be taught, you know, masturbation and fisting and all that stuff at 6, seriously, would you really want your kid being exposed to that? Okay. Then you've got all of this weird inclusion, exclusion nonsense with these femve, the alphabet people, as I call them. No, I'm fundamentally against that. Oh, Sean, thank you for that, sir. Absolutely awesome. Um, if I'll put them somewhere. No, I had some leaflets about that, which I've got to drop off some shots to the Bushcraft show. But yeah, anyway, I digress. School, that is where the problem lies. Kids are being brought up from an early age, guess what? To comply. Okay. When they ring the bell, when they're out playing at break time. Do you remember break time at school? And they ring ding a ding a ding. Everyone stops. Everyone forms a line. They all go into school. And then a certain other buzzers go. They go from one class to the other. They got to put their chairs under the table. It's all regimented and controlled. And I could understand to an extent, because otherwise you'd have a free for all. It'll pretty much be like removing all of the traffic lights and hoping that it all goes okay. We're saying that in India, if you see now they drive in main capitals and big cities in India, I don't think there's traffic lights out there. They just do what they want. So I can see it both ways. And it's healthy to see two different viewpoints about anything, always question things. But yeah, going back to school, basically kids are being told to comply and do as they're told. Okay, to do as they're told. Also, another thing, when I was in school back in the day, we all had individual desks. There were the old wooden desks where you open the lid up and you put your like exercise books and that sort of thing in there, and you put your pens on the front or your pencils. Now, kids are all being put into groups. Okay, so basically, kids are losing their individuality. They're being brought up and raised in school time to think as part of a group. Now, what happens when that child finds themselves on their own for whatever reason? They're going to turn into a snowflake, yes, and they're going to melt because they're not used to being individual and doing things by themselves. They're in a group. So the biggest problem you've got, and the reason why society is what it is because kids go to school and they're all being trained in the art of control to say yes. Okay, that's the big problem. So the only way that we win this is take your kids out of school, do it yourself. And no, I'm not going to stand here and say that if I didn't do it, I do it myself. I home educate my son with my partner. Lots of us preppers do. Loads of preppers are doing it. I mean, when you look at 2020, I mean, I've had emails before we come on air earlier, and they're saying when 2020 happened, they took their kids out of school and they've not been back since. They've flourished. They're absolutely doing so well. And when I see kids, especially between 3 and 3:30, walking back from school, you look at them, they all look really depressed. Okay, they really do look down. They look like they've got a lot of stress, weight on their shoulders, and they look tired, their heads down, they look bored. Man, when I finished school, I was so happy. I couldn't wait to go out and play football till it's dark. It's different. Like I say, kids these days, I think we're ruining our kids, and they're turning into a generation of yes men. And that's the problem, because people say yes. If you haven't seen it already, go back to a few videos that I've done, and it's called Start Saying No. If you haven't seen that video, I know 7,100 plus who have recently joined. You might not have seen that, but I really urge you to watch that video, okay? Start saying no. Do not comply. If it feels wrong, it looks bad, just start saying it. If you're not used to saying it, start saying it, and you'll be surprised how much power you feel that you've got. It's incredible. I've been doing it all my life. I know people out there who have been doing it for about a week. And I'll tell you what, you look at the difference in them. They're more confident, they're more happy, they feel more powerful, they're definitely more empowered. And that's what we need to do. We need to get our kids out of school, and we need to start saying no about anything. And just imagine, if everyone done that around the world, everything falls down. The World Economic Forum, United Nations, wherever it is, they've got no power, because they're wasting their energy asking people, telling people more like to do this, to do that. We'll say no. What are they going to do? Are they going to come out and shoot everyone? No army is going to come out and shoot everyone. And if they did, well, guess what? People aren't just going to stand there and do nothing. They're going to fight back. Now, if you don't believe what I'm saying, this is true, you go back to the Vietnam War, okay? When the Americans went into Vietnam, they had Huey 205 helicopters. And the MVA, the North Vietnamese Army, was very successful in shooting bow and arrows into air intakes to bring down those birds. And he did it very successfully. So it doesn't matter. Yes, you're going to be up against an army or police or whatever that are armed, but it's always ways that you can get around things. It's called guerrilla warfare. It's been going on for a long, long time. If it does come to that, trust me, you're going to see gardeners turn into warriors, especially if they see their loved ones getting hurt, injured, killed, or whatever. Trust me, you will see people change. And you'll see this big tidal wave just go right up to the door of Davos and get things sorted. It will happen. It's absolutely going to happen. But we need to start saying no. That's the first thing you need to do, okay? You go to a supermarket and you're carrying cash and you put all of your stuff on there like I did, and they say, sorry, it's card only. So I've only got cash. All of my stuff's there. What are you going to do? They say, oh, well, open up another till and you pay cash. Okay, the second you say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, and you start getting everything off, and then you walk around to form another queue, no, you're a yes man. That's where people lose. You start saying no, there's always a way around things. That's my advice to you guys. Oh my God, not again. On PayPal, Paul, you're an absolute legend, sir. Thank you for that donation on PayPal. Incredible. So yes, like I promised at the start of this live stream, it's all bad news and it's going to affect a lot of people and it's going to get upset, but there's ways around things. Start saying no. And you know what? I am that close from seriously doing something to stop paying my council tax, because that is going to be going up next month, okay? And I know so many people who haven't paid it for years. And I'll bet you any money there's people in this chat right now, or indeed in the comment section under this video, if you're watching on the replay, who have done exactly the same thing. Cancel their council tax. I've already started with cancelling my TV license. And I've told you in other videos, I don't watch TV. I don't have anything to do with the BBC or iPlayer, so I don't need to pay it. And I just stopped paying it. They sent me loads and loads of letters. I'm like, yeah, great. Keep them because they're really good to light the fire. It's amazing. So in a way, They're helping me keep my family warm. It's incredible. Oh, dude, what's this? Kay Davis. Happy Friday, happy weekend. Cheers, Kay. Absolutely awesome. And yes, happy Friday, everybody. Seriously enjoying that. No, not again. Oh, Richard, the dude on PayPal. Really appreciate that, sir. So yes, so that is my advice. Start saying no. And if you're worried, and the biggest thing as well, which a lot of people will come up against, is, and it's all by design, it's all about going back to school. Everything goes to education. Like I said, kids are being brought up in groups in school now. So if any kid is outside of a group or on their own, okay, what's going to happen? They're going to worry what everyone thinks because they're on their own. They're different. They're not in a group. They're isolated. And that is the biggest problem humanity faces, is worrying what other people think, okay? Like I said in another video recently about Start Saying No, if you haven't seen it, seriously watch it, okay? True stories, absolutely nothing's made up. I'm not like that. In the post office. And I'm mad at it. No, I'm not telling them what's in that parcel. None of their business. Say no. And yes, I can feel the eyes drilling into my head behind me. And I can hear people going like this behind me. Yeah, do you know what? That was giving me more power. But for someone new to doing that, they're going to be uncomfortable. Okay, it's natural. It's fine. People are going to feel uncomfortable because they think, oh, it's getting stressful. Their hands are going to be hot and a bit sweaty. Their heart rate is going to elevate somewhat. Okay, they're going to be conscious that people are looking at them and they're going to be worrying what then people are thinking about you because you're making a scene. You're not complying. Okay, you're not saying yes, we're doing as we're told. If you disagree with it, just say no. Okay, know you're right. Stand up for yourself, and for God's sake, if you're a guy, grow a pair. If you're a girl, grow a pair. That's what you need to do. If you don't do that, you're going to end up like a yes man, and this horrible agenda is just going to roll on. And guess what? My kid, your grandkids are all going to be grown up in a terrible place. None of us want that. It's down to us. Anyone born in the 70s, last generation, generations after that, they've got softer and softer and softer. It's down to us. So I'm leading by example. I'm doing it how I'm preaching it. My son's upstairs asleep now. I'm doing it for him. And I'm a prepper. I don't feel safe in the city. I've done whatever I could, sold everything I had. I ended up in a tiny little place, which I can just about afford to pay. And I'm doing it. I'm leading by example. Okay. You can do it if you really want to. And if the conversation goes the way which it may do on Tuesday with Jason from Archaics, we might touch a little bit on how you can change things for the better for whatever you want, and you can make it happen. Yeah, I know it's bonkers, but it's absolutely true. I wouldn't be telling you otherwise. Black Fang Werewolf, my birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday, brother! And I know that you've contributed before. You're an absolute legend. Brilliant. And oh, not again. PayPal. Wow, Sally on PayPal. You're an absolute legend. Thank you, sweetheart. That's seriously awesome. So yeah, on a roll now. We might even have time for some Q&A. So if any of you guys have got any questions about anything I've talked about tonight, all in capital letters, and if you can, put the word question in front of it, but you don't have to. What? Who's this? Alaska Prepper? Yes, cool. Yeah, Rudy, I chatted to him the other day, and he's just taken a long and break, and he said he's going to be coming back real soon, so he probably is. Jerry, spot on, dude. You're absolutely right. And again, Banana, Portuguese Anna. I'm in risk in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland, yes, you're going to have. I think it's probably the IRA again, rearing its ugly head. I can assume. I don't really know. So, what's this? Faye, what's with the guitars? I don't get it. Is that violins? Oh, is that something sad? Oh, right. Listen to this. Why didn't that click on there? Something's gone wrong here. I can't Lady Heather T. I can't. Oh my God, I can't click on any things. Oh, that's not fair. Bloody hell, I'm paying for this. Ah. No, I can't click on anyone's comment. Why is that happening? Oh, that's not fair because I wanted to highlight. I can't. I'm going to read it out. Lady Heather T with the heart. That's beautiful. Funky, have you connected with Canadian prepper Nate? All I said was Canadian prepper. Oh, a technical fault there. What's this? London girl. Hey, Kaz, how's it going, sweetie? They're watching. Yeah, they're always watching. I know on my list, but do you know what I mean? If I don't do something for my son, who will? So there we go. Yeah, I can't. Oh, God, it's gone way, way past. I know Faye put the violins or wherever it was. I don't know what Faye's been smoking tonight. I'm trying to find it. But yeah, someone said about connecting with Canadian Prepper. Now, Nate, been long-term friends with Nate for a long time, and he actually subscribed to me back in, when was it, 2013 or something like that. And yeah, I've been following him and stuff. So he's doing insane by getting loads of information out there. Now, like I say, well, I don't know, maybe I say it, but you don't have to agree with everyone. Now, I don't agree with what Nate's doing about talking about all of this stuff about nuclear and Ukraine. Personally, I don't buy into that at all. All right. So, yep, I'll watch his videos, but if he's talking about anything to do with, oh my God, they've just launched a nuclear thing and whatever, not interested. But he's a good guy. And yeah, it would be cool to get him on a live stream one day. But, you know, he's got a massive following. I don't think he's got time to speak to a little channel like me, but you never know. I could send him an email and see if he replies. Right, oh, look, it works. It works. Cool. Right, this is from Northeast 14A Pebble Dashing. Funky Prepper, why don't you teach the people how to use crypto? Right, that's a very, very straightforward question, and I'm glad you've answered that, mainly because I've got no freaking idea how it works. I don't understand it. I've really tried to understand crypto, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm an analog guy in the digital world, and crypto, mate, I don't understand it. I really don't. So I'm not going to advise people do it because I don't understand it works. So why would I advise someone to do something where I don't understand it myself? That's not what I'm about. Right, what we got here is another question. This is from Matt String. Question: have you looked into RAF Sealand, North Wales? No, I haven't. I'm suspecting, based on the thread of questions and stuff I was talking about earlier, there could be a possible migrant situation there. If there is, yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Let me see if I've got a pen. Yes, here we are. Preppers are always prepared. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write that down. RAF Sealand. And Wales. Yeah, leave it with me, Matt. I'll be checking it out, and yes, I will look into that. Thanks for the heads up. Here we go. The next one. This is from Kevin. Question: where are all the pirate radios? Oh, it's interesting. Do you know what? That's a very valid point because I remember back in the day. In fact, I used to be part of a pirate radio back in the rave days. Believe it or not. Yeah, a long time ago that was. But yeah, pirate radios. Whether or not people still transmit the way we used to, i.e., non-digital, I'm not really sure if that's still going. I would have thought if there is, it's probably some online thing. Now, online radios are okay, but the only time I'd probably listen to the radio is in the car, and my car's an old car, should we say, a 4x4, a strong 4x4, but the radio in there, it's got a CD player, and it's got nothing digital in that car at all, really. So, no, it's a very valid point. In actual fact, if anyone is watching this on the replay, can you put it in the comments, or even better, send me an email. The email address is below this video. Send me an email, and it'd be interesting, because if Riz Pirate Radio is talking about prepping stuff, which I'm guessing Kevin is talking about, then yeah, I'll definitely do a video and let people know about that. Because Kevin, it's a really good question, mate. I'm glad you've done it. Here's a good question. Hit that like button. Cherry, you're a star. And in fact, any YouTube channel which I subscribe to and I watch, especially Richard Vobes. I was speaking to Richard today on the phone, and we are going to try and get him back next week if he can fit it in. So that'd be cool. And I always say, every time I watch his videos, I'll hit the thumbs up before I've even watched it. It's just showing support for someone that you enjoy watching. So yeah, hit the thumbs up. That really helps. Even if you're watching the replay, it all helps. Right, who else have we got? Right, here we go. It is a good question, and I'll get this asked quite a lot. Okay, this is from Chris. Okay, Chris asked question: where would we put our money if we withdraw it from the banks? Thanks for all you do. Now, what I do is, like I said, I withdraw as much as I can, but leave in what I need to leave in, and the rest of it comes out. I spend it. Okay, I spend the money. Now, yes, if you depends how much money you've got, obviously, but I would say, if you're new to prepping and if you haven't got any preps, now preps are a buzzword for items for someone who is described as a prepper that are going to be useful for their individual situation. That's the easiest way I can explain it. So if you're new to it and you've got no preps, preps would be make sure that you've got bare minimum of 3 months of food, okay, long-term food. So you're looking at tinned meats, pasta, rice, beans, stuff like that, okay, flour, all of these things which you can store for a long time. Even UHT milk, they've got a date of 2 years. Or there was problems with some vegan group going around disrupting the milk industry, getting stuff to supermarkets. You know, that has some effect for about a week or so, but people who are prepared already had milk. So I would literally turn a portion of cash which you take out of the bank into preps. So most importantly, I would say food. Make sure you've got food. Make sure that you get silver, okay? Silver bullion coins, very important, because if things go down, they're going to be the things which you're going to use to barter items, okay? And silver prices, it's never really going to go belly up bottom. Even if it does, there's always a thing called a premium, which means the price will always be high when you buy, pretty much. So yeah, I would invest in silver. As an investment, it can go up and you can cash it in or whatever, or you can barter, you can exchange it with things. But yeah, basically, take out cash out of the bank and start getting useful things, okay? Just say you've got no power, you've got no way of heating your home. Off-grid heating, okay? You can't see it, but over there's like one of those portable gas bottle heaters, okay? So if we can't get any firewood or whatever it is, or we don't fancy lighting the fire, to get hot water because it's summertime, okay, you know, we would do other things, okay. Make sure you've got different redundancies for different problems. So basically, just sit back and have a good think of how would your life be more comfortable if certain things weren't available, like electricity. What would you do without electric? Have you got certain things? Have you got certain power banks? Anything like that, okay. What else is there? So yeah, basically, I would just turn your cash into useful items. And indeed, if you're thinking long term like I do and lots of us do, think about things that people have got addictions with, okay. So get coffee stores for quite a long time. Get spirits, okay. You don't have to get expensive stuff. Get the cheapest vodka or whatever it is, because further down the road, you know, if someone knocks on your door, they're absolutely skint, but they're willing to work for you. Just say you needed loads of trees cut down in a garden and turned into firewood. You can have them do that for a couple of days, and when they're done, you can give them a cheap bottle of vodka which costs you 15 quid or something, okay. Items are going to be used instead of cash. Cash is okay if we have a proper collapse, okay. Cash is going to be fantastic for about 2 or 3 days. After that, it's going to be no good. But in that 2 or 3 days, you can absolutely rush to the petrol stations and fill up as much jerry cans as you can with diesel or petrol, okay. Use that cash that you've got to go out and get everything. After the 3 or 4 days, people won't be accepting cash, but they will be accepting tradable items. So you're looking at tobacco. Okay, people are always going to be addicted to nicotine and tobacco. Not all people, but a lot will. Alcohol. Okay, socially acceptable, gets you where you need to get to, and you're not going to get arrested, etc. Anything like that. That's my advice. So yeah, great question, Chris. Really cool. Let's move down. Someone saying the internet got nobbled from the establishment. Who knows? Oh yeah, so I'm watching catch up because yeah, it all went down there. All right, yeah, we just gone to the crypto question. Looking at more questions. Tim, that was me hacking you as I want to wee. Funny guy. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to roll right down to the bottom. Well, what's this? This is from Matt String. Question: have you also looked into Care Run Hall Hotel, Wales? Care Run Hall. I think I don't think. No, I think this is a different one. There was one in Bilf, Wales, which was rumored to have. Serco is supposed to be looking at that, but I don't know whether they bought it in the end. All right, I'm going to write them down, Matt. Okay, so underneath the RAF one, we got. I wish I could bloody speak Welsh. I should do. In fact, that's another video I want to do. I'm going to be encouraging people to speak their native tongue: Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Cornish. Okay, I think we need to preserve that going forward because we seem to be losing everything else, and it'd be a shame to lose our native language, wouldn't it? A bit of Cockney rhyme and slang from me. Robert's your dad's brother and all that. So, yeah, you got to do something. One Hall. Also, there's another one. North Hop Hall. North Wales. There's a couple of things going on North Wales. Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. I'll look into it, buddy. Oh my God, look at the time. It's bloody 11 o'clock. 9. Hold on. That's 2 hours. Well, that's it. I'm done. Look at this. Not again. This is from Jeff. Oh, wow, Jeff on PayPal. Thank you, dude. You're an absolute star, Jeff. I appreciate that, mate. Wow, let's just go see if I haven't missed any. Because I don't think it was the internet. I think it was the connection between the laptop. Sometimes I think it's because I'm uploading. The upload speed goes crazy, and if it's not up to par, StreamYard just bottoms out. So I just have to restart it. But it doesn't take long. From my end, it looks like I'm offline for about 30 seconds, so it's no big deal. So that's pretty much it, mate. And one last question: EMF blocking clothing. Yeah, I looked into that when I woke up about 5G from Barry Trower years ago now, and yeah, absolutely, definitely a valid point. So yes, we're going to say thanks ever so much for all of you guys coming on and contributing in this awesome chat. I mean, sometimes when I check after, there's been over 4,000 messages in the chat, which is insane. So tonight I slowed it down to one chat or one message every 30 seconds. Usually I've done it for 20 seconds, but when I watched the replay of the chat last week, it did look it's going quite fast. So I whacked it to 30 seconds now. So I hope Sky Girl, yeah, I love you, darling. I really do. Someone that knows Barry, yeah, absolute legend. But yeah, we can go on talking about Barry and Jordan Maxwell and Ian R. Crane and all the others for ages. You know, that could be a whole live stream in itself. Some of you guys know what I'm saying. Most of you probably don't. Is what it is. So yes, you guys watching on the replay, thanks so much for staying all the way to the end, over 2 hours. I'm sorry it went on for so long, but you know, there's been a lot to cover tonight because we are moving into crazy times starting from tomorrow. Okay, a few hours away. April Fool's Day. They love to play the Joker card on April Fool's Day, and you'll see things change. So hopefully you guys have been watching me for a long time. are already been aware of the stuff that's starting to happen as from tomorrow regarding all these new laws and new rules, that we have made adjustments in our preps and plans to navigate through all of this to ensure that we are all healthy, happy, and safe. Don't forget those three things. Everyone who's donated, you guys have been bloody awesome. You seriously blown me away. I had no idea. I really didn't expect all of that. You guy was awesome. Someone just said quickly, little Carol. Hello, darling. I've seen you here before. Good to see you again. What's the poll? Yeah, I don't know if that's still there. But yeah, the poll was, what are you more worried about, or what concerns you the most? And it was a choice of the migrant situation, inflation, and something else. I think it's digital ID or something like that, or all three. And I think all three was the overwhelming majority. That was before, just when we started. So, yep, that's all good in the hood. So, yes, you guys are absolutely awesome. I really do appreciate you hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, hitting that notification bell on all notifications. That's so important, okay? If you see that bell and it's just an outline, you need to click on it and say select all notifications, because if you don't, you're going to miss things like this. Now, I've done this before. I've just done a random live stream in the day or in the evening, totally unplanned, unannounced. And if you're not subscribed or notified, you're going to miss those things, okay? And lastly, but not least, all of you moderators, because you moderators are awesome, absolutely awesome. And yeah, without you moderators, I don't think I can do this, because there's going to be a lot of idiots in the chat, and it's just going to ruin it. And I've told the moderators in no uncertain terms, anyone starts to use swear words, it gets flagged, and I won't be able to do live streams. Okay, so anyone with full swear words, don't do it. You can abbreviate or change some swear words so it doesn't actually spell a swear word. And anyone is taking the mick, anyone is having a pop at someone else, anyone who's being negative, they get warned. And if they continue to do it, they get blocked. Simple as that. We ain't got time on the funky train to deal with negative a-holes in the chat. Okay, so your moderators are awesome. I'm going to leave this on the screen. Stay safe and warm and well prepared. God bless you all from Oregon. Emmanuel, I love you, brother. Absolutely. So share the video as well. It really, really helps. Okay, share it on all the platforms that I'm not on, Facebook, all of that stuff. It helps. So spread the word. Don't forget, start saying no. You guys take care. Thanks for watching and stay funky.